It's POB with MLB News back with another video, and today's video is going to be one realistic MLB free agent signing for every MLB team. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. Link to my other channels in the description below, and let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, realistic means that it's one that I could see happening, and that makes sense for that team. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. Starting off in the NL East with the New York Mets, and that's going to be JT Realmuto. JT Realmuto would be a good fit for this team, for one, because they need a catcher. They just cannot find that catcher that they need, and I think JT Realmuto is the best catcher in the league. So, yeah, I think this would make a lot of sense. Braves is going to be Marcell Ozuna. I think they really need to keep him, and they should try to keep him if they possibly can. Phillies, Liam Hendriks. This is a realistic one that could happen. They probably couldn't afford him if they pay Realmuto and Arrieta, but I personally think that they should go with Hendriks over Arrieta. And I think Realmuto they're going to lose anyway, so it's not going to matter. Marlins, Marcus Stroman. I think they could sign Marcus Stroman. And I think the Marlins are going to rush the rebuild this offseason, and Marcus Stroman could be an ace for that staff. And I think this signing would make a lot of sense. You would have Stroman, Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, Sixto Sanchez, and whoever your number 5 is. Sandy Alcantara. Did I say Sandy Alcantara? Yeah, I don't know. Nationals, Liam Hendriks. I think they need to get a closer. I think they need to get some bullpen help this offseason. That should be their top priority this offseason. Moving on to the NL Central now. Michael Brantley for the Cardinals. I think Michael Brantley makes a lot of sense for the Cardinals after losing Marcell Ozuna, and that being a huge loss for them. Michael Brantley seems like a good replacement for him, and I think it'd make a lot of sense. Next is George Springer for the Chicago Cubs. I think this one makes a lot of sense as well. The Cubs are in need of outfield help. That's another big problem why they choked so bad in the playoffs to the Miami Marlins, a 5th place team projected. George Springer would help them a lot. Next is the Pirates. The Pirates, I would like to put none of the above, but I went with Garrett Richards. I don't know. I think they can make him into a decent starting pitcher and get some good prospects for him at the trade deadline. I don't know. Brewers, Marcus Semien. I think this is one that could happen. I just don't think Orlando Arcia is a long-term shortstop at that position, and I think that Marcus Semien would make sense. Next, for the Reds, is Trevor Bauer or George Springer, two of top 5 prospects right there. I think George Springer's more likely, and that's what I would predict. Dodgers, Jock Peterson. I think Jock Peterson they can re-sign, but it's just do they want to. I personally think Jock Peterson's not staying there this offseason, but I could be wrong. Diamondbacks, Shane Green. Shane Green would be a big pickup for them, and the reason he would is because they just did not have the relief pitching. That was one of their main problems. Obviously, Madison Bumgarner was terrible. Ketel Marte was not nearly as good. They had a lot of other problems, but Shane Green could help them a lot. Next is Giants, Corey Kluber. Corey Kluber would make a lot of sense for this team, and I think it's something that could happen. Rockies, DJ LeMahieu. It makes sense for the Rockies, but it just won't happen because I think he re-signs with the Yankees, honestly. But it could make some sense, I think. Padres, Ken Giles. I just don't think they're going. I don't think Kirby Yates is going to re-sign there. And I think Ken Giles would be a decent option. Orioles. This is one that I'm sure is very boring to Orioles fans, but Danny Echeverria, I don't know. Whatever. Red Sox, Taekwon Walker. Kirby Yates could be on here too. There's a lot of other players that could be on here, but I went with the realistic option in Taekwon Walker. Blue Jays, they could bring back Marcus Stroman back to the Blue Jays, or Kirby Yates. The more realistic one, I personally think, is Kirby Yates, but that's just my opinion. Yankees, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray is a player that had a down season in 2020, but he could be a lot better. Who knows? Rays, Kurt Suzuki. Kurt Suzuki, just seems like a great fit for this team. They lacked catching. And I think Kurt Suzuki could be perfect. He has a good bat, and he plays a good catcher. Cleveland, Carlos Santana. I feel like this is very realistic and could happen. Yeah, I mean, I think it could happen. I think it's very realistic, and yeah. Tigers, Jonathan Scope. I mean, this is a boring signing. Just bring back who they already had, but I mean, who else? I mean, I don't know. Royals, Tommy La Stella. I don't know. This is saying they get rid of Whit Merrifield. I mean, I don't know who they would sign in free agency, but I just went with Tommy La Stella. I didn't know who they would go with. White Sox, Liam Hendriks. If you saw my free agent predictions video, then you saw that I predicted Liam Hendriks would go to the White Sox, and I think that will happen. I do think that will happen. Twins, Nelson Cruz or Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman, I think both are going to happen. So, yeah. Moving on to the AL West, Angels, Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman makes a lot of sense for the Angels. He's a less affordable option. He's going to cost quite a bit, but he's going to be worth it in the long term. Astros, Josh Reddick. I mean, George Springer's already said he does not want to return to Houston with the Astros. I don't think Michael Brantley's returning either. I think he's going to the Cardinals. And yeah, Josh Reddick, I guess, is their most realistic option, unless you want to say they're going to get a closer, which I think is possible. Depends though. A's, Robbie Grossman. He had a good 2020 season, and I think they will try to keep him in free agency since they're probably not going to keep Simeon, Hendricks, La Stella, Lamb, or any one of those. Next, Rangers, Jock Peterson. They were rumored to get a good bat in the 2019 MLB offseason, but that just did not happen. And I think this year might be the year for the Rangers to get a power bat finally. And finally, the Mariners, Marcus Stroman. This seems realistic to me. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities, but I mean, it's unlikely, but it's realistic. That's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a video. Link to my other channel in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos soon.